first being, I'd just like to welcome, I do believe, well, we all saw Councillor Bigger on the line, so just to welcome Councillor Bigger. Thank you for joining us today, Donna. And I do believe, I cannot see the full list, but I do believe our Reeve Amber Link is on the line as well. But if not, I know she intends to join us. I can't see the full list, so my apologies. And then, of course, I just want to highlight that we do have a host of Wheatland County staff on the line as well. I know that our Parks and Recreation Community Services Coordinator is on the line. I see we have Alyssa, our wonderful environmental coordinator, and many different ag staff as well from our Agricultural Services Division. And of course, we have Patrick Earl, the driver of this truly economic development initiative. And we do have, I'd just like to do a preliminary introduction, a first-time introduction to our new investment attraction specialist, Jamie Cramble. He is on the line. You can see his face there. And I do believe, Jamie, you're at the office today. So thank you for joining. Perfect. Thank you for joining the call. And without a lot of the collaboration that has gone into this from obviously the Economic Development Board that we have at the county, many of our volunteers and our members, to our regional partners as well, through to our staff, this couldn't have happened. So I'd really like to give a huge thanks and thumbs up to everyone who was involved in this truly collaborative effort. So without that, we wouldn't get where we are today. And again, thanks to everyone who is on the line as well. I'd just like to let everyone know, of course, that this video is being recorded. So if those who weren't able to make it, if you can let them know, we will be posting this up to the WC website, infinitewc.ca as well. And on that note, on infinitewc.ca, we have a Mercantile page that everyone can refer to, that a lot of the information you can extrapolate from through Patrick's overview and the conversations that are going to happen later on after we do our introductions. So I'd like to direct you all to infinitewc.ca/WC-Mercantile, and you can find a lot of that information there. And it is that sub-brand, it's the economic sector focus sub-brand from the WC. So you'll notice the branding is very consistent, and this is really the first kind of pivot from the brand into a sector focus that we all know in Wheatland County is huge, which is our food, our agricultural, a lot of that I really think is something to be celebrated, and also to link back to the expertise at the county. We do have, for economic development, we have investment attraction, we have all of the services that can assist in providing some information to those who are interested into the sectors in the county, into the skill sets that a lot of our residents and our ratepayers have. So ultimately, the Mercantile is that preeminent, that first economic sector focused initiative under our WC brand, and we're really excited and thrilled to be launching this today. Our value chain from the ag perspective is robust, from the food production through to the distribution channels, and we are looking at those growth opportunities and really looking to lift up the growth opportunities that we have with our ag producers, with our small business owners, with our ag owners in the county. So we want to cherish that and celebrate that and really promote the innovation that we have, that our entrepreneurs have in the county through that processing and the diversity of products. And we want to showcase that. We want to showcase what's in the county and what's really authentic. And the ultimate goal of that Mercantile, of the WC Mercantile, is to network and showcase the agricultural value chain within the county. So ultimately, we want to showcase that value chain. We want to showcase those products under the WC, linking it to Wheatland County. We want to showcase all of that. And working together with the stakeholders in the value chain, we can better communicate with the industry at large, with all those other major players at large in the region, in the country, within the industry, to better promote the efficiencies and export readiness of our existing businesses through the collective chain markets, and more efficiently as a sector group to targeted markets. So this is truly an economic development driver, sub-brand of what we all started back in 2019, which is the WC. So that whole connection piece when we launched the WC, now this is kind of a tangible result that can produce tangible results. And I couldn't be more thrilled as GM of Community Development Services to launch this brand, to speak with you all today, and to let you know that we're going full steam ahead as per usual. And on the line, again, we have a lot of our Wheatland County staff, experts in the field of economic development, of ag, of parks and recreation, of public spaces, to answer any of those questions along the way as we open up the conversation. But with that, I thank everyone for joining. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Pat, to kind of get into the nitty-gritty, meticulous details. And I'll be on the line to answer any questions throughout the next hour and a half or so. Thank you very much, everybody.
Great. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, it's been a little bit of trying to get this thing decided on, naming the sub brand development of it, and getting it to happen. Of course, in the past year, we've had challenges of getting things out for event development on this. Of course, this would be a great initiative to, have a cake cutting or something like that to roll it out. But here we are on Teams to do this with everyone. But the premise of, like Matt was saying, is the same. We're trying to build a network and collaborate and really build this value chain in agriculture. So, of course, we do a lot of production in Wheatland County. We're also having a lot of innovation on the processing and working on that. And then, Jamie doing investment attraction. It's a great time to have this initiative launch because we can look at doing better and more regional, local processing of the stuff that's being produced in the region, in Wheatland. And then working on getting that distributed to retail, to restaurants, having chefs engage in the Calgary region and getting them out to visit the farms, talk to the farmers, and just really have a holistic approach to educating them, having farmers being educated about where the food is ending up as well. And there's a little bit more of a quality story there. And then, of course, because it's part of the WC and what we're trying to do in the realm of marketing is to educate into our region and then beyond. Jamie has a lot of experience with export and getting our production more visible and aware to other markets. So it is all about growth, but building that network so that we can, start to look at even developing, similar to other sectors, developing that value add story of some farm product to another farm product to do processing to make another retail product or something to that effect. So what I'd like to do today is basically go around the virtual table here and have some of the farms talk about their stories, maybe 2 to 5 minutes, and we'll do that through the raising the hand thing in the upper right, or just make a mention in the chat. And then also talk to our support groups who are usually on our regular WC conversation calls, and share some of their insight on what this initiative looks like and how they can support into it, to support into everybody within the initiative. And then as well in the chat, if you can also provide your farm or company name, a contact, a phone number, email, website, whatever. We will be building a WC Mercantile directory for the value chain, specific to the value chain. So we'll be putting that together and then linking it into the WC Mercantile page on the Infinite WC website. So this launch is the beginning of that directory compiling, and so we can start building that directory out. And then as we go is to further expand that network, get more people aware of the WC Mercantile, and get them into the directory for a little bit of marketing support too, because the more we market the WC Mercantile, the more we market everybody that's participating in the initiative and within the value chain. So and when it comes to places like Calgary or the region, that's important too, because that's the other end of the value chain. So if there's restaurants, if there's chefs, if there's processors in the entire Calgary region, being a part of the WC Mercantile, that is all part of that same story. It's part of that same value chain. So yes, it's a Wheatland County initiative, but we're also trying to really work on that food story from production to delivery. So yeah, so with that, I will see if anybody here wants to start off and talk a little bit about their story. Let's start with the support groups. So Wendy, I'm gonna drop on you if you want to talk about Community Futures and what you're working on in ag.
You bet. So Wendy Gerbrandt with Community Futures Wild Rose. We're out of Strathmore, and I work in the community economic development realm. And been involved with ag now for about 6 years, and I really just started working with the Open Farm Days initiative through the province. And we rallied together a bunch of producers and ranchers and processors, and we started to provide and promote some events happening throughout Open Farm Days weekend, because we didn't have a big tie-in into that local food story. So we felt that that was a really great initiative to create some further awareness of the region, not just from a food standpoint and agriculture, but also just to get visitors out to the east. So it's worked really well, and we participated in that now for 7 or 8 years, I guess. I think we're going on. And from there, we just started to see things begin to happen, right? We saw restaurants wanting to do farm to table dinners out here, or chefs were coming out here, or more of our food supply was going into Calgary. And more and more operators just started jumping aboard the Open Farm Days concept, and then started branching out to looking at doing events throughout the weekends, throughout the year. So it's been really exciting because of Open Farm Days. It's really kind of spurred that movement here in the East. And as of right now, we're actually working on an agritourism innovation challenge. We identified there was a bit of a gap in trying to get the supports out for the operators that wanted to develop these types of experiences on or off the farm and with restaurants and chefs. So we're actually just in the process right now. We'll be wrapping up the challenge here by about June. It will be officially wrapped up. And we're seeing some great participants coming in there. Actually, I got some really good feel-good stories this morning on my email, so that was really nice to see. And it was really just to kind of catalyze the operators that, needed to validate the idea and the concept of bringing people out to their farm. My goal is always to make sure it's profitable for everybody. So that's one of our initiatives, and we're going to see where that takes us after this and what's going to come next. And we look forward to hearing more from everybody and partnering with Wheatland County.
Awesome. Thanks, Wendy. I should throw it over to Jamie. And Jamie, do you want to talk about? I know it's only been 5 days, but do you want to talk about what you see within the WC Mercantile and what you're looking at doing?
Sure. Well, my main role here will be to set up the investment attraction strategy and then implement the investment attraction strategy. So, looking at opportunities for business expansion here, business attraction, possibly some capital and equity investments, and profiling those companies, and looking at really increasing the capacity in the agri-food processing area is what I see the main opportunity, particularly things that don't require a large consumption of water. There's like grain processing, machinery dealerships, and other type of enterprises in that space. Yeah, as Patrick was saying, I've only been here for 3-4 days, but definitely can feel the agri-food area is the one that we should be targeting. Strong farm and agricultural base here, and the proximity to Calgary is and the transportation corridors would be one of the main strengths that I see. And really, I just see this area as having a lot of competitive advantages. It's hard to see when you're on the outside, but now that I'm here and have spent about a week, I can really start to see where things are going to come together. So, yeah.
Great, thanks, Jamie. Someone I had a pretty good chat with this week before last was Paul Gervais. And Paul, I see you're on the call. So do you wanna chime in and talk about what you're doing with the province?
Hello, Patrick. Yes, thank you very much, and great to chat with you a week or so ago. It was a great, really good chat. I quite enjoyed it. I don't know if you can see me properly or not. I've got my camera sort of turned on. I think it's working. But yeah, our role in the province is a role in the province with respect to agri-food and agri-processing investment attraction. And I'm glad to see that you have Jamie Cramble on the team. We've worked with Jamie before. He worked in our group at one time, and he really brought a lot of energy to the role. And he has a lot of insight on the wider provincial and the wider provincial investment attraction area in the agri-processing area and how it fits into the federal and Canadian national perspective. So in our group, we have an investment attraction and export group. We've renamed the group. We've played a little bit of reshuffling in terms of reorganizing our people. But what our primary role is to look at ways to bring investment into the province in the agro-processing area. And at the same time, for those companies, for those processors, for those entrepreneurs in the province who are looking to expand or attract strategic capital into their operations, or to expand outside of Alberta, outside of Canada, to find new markets or access markets that would be otherwise difficult to do. So we have people that specialize in that area, in the trade area, and we're happy to work with those kind of companies. So that's about all I wanted to say, but thank you very much. And thank you for the opportunity to join you this morning. Appreciate it.
Great, thanks, Paul. I'm going to move down to, let's see who else is here. Carolyn, I think I saw you on the call. Carolyn Melnick with another minister.
Excuse me. Hello. Yes, I'm here. Hope you can see me now. I've turned my camera on. No, I'm just appreciate being involved today. From a Ministry of Labor and Immigration perspective, you know, I think the help that we can provide here, or what we can do to support this initiative, is related to the labor market and helping employers with upskilling, training employees. We do have the Canada-Alberta Job Grant. That's the first thing that comes to mind when I think about this initiative and employers looking to expand in agri-foods area, or the ag value chain. We do have training available that is training through a grant. And I don't know if people are aware about the Canada-Alberta Job Grant. Probably lots of people have heard about it. But some people may not know that there are some new guidelines, new rules that are, you know, going to be more helpful to employers around hiring unemployed Albertans. And I'm not, just to let people know, if you do hire an unemployed Albertan, you can get 100% of training costs in the first year covered through the job grant. So that's very nice for employers who are potentially hiring people that have some of the skill set they're looking for, but not all of it. And you know, there may be some more changes to CAJG, but at this point, that's something that might be helpful here with this group of employers. So at this point, that's what I think are kind of the key thing that we'll be able to contribute from a labor and immigration ministry perspective. So it's good to be here. I'm excited to hear everything today. So
great. Thanks, Carolyn. And Lisa from JEI, I can never remember the ministry name. Do you have anything you want to add in on looking at agriculture?
Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Lisa.
You're not the only one who has difficulty remembering our name. So, and we've undergone our second reorg, so I'm still kind of not yet even firm on what our branch name is. So I just don't get hung up on those kinds of things. But the key thing that I will still continue to do is make those connections wherever I can, and if I see or hear of programs and supports where it might be a fit, I always do, I think, let you know in a fairly timely basis. So that's kind of my thing. I may have also sent this invitation to Lori Jo and some of the ag folks that didn't already have an invitation. So some of you may or may not know, this might be of interest, Patrick, or just a Friday useful trivia. I actually started my career with the government in agriculture and helped launch the agritourism strategy. So back in the day. So do you have a good understanding of it? And I think that as we also have brought in some of the tourism folk into our branch and into our unit, so we're still trying to see how those kinds of things will come about. I guess we're changing things a little bit within our regional economic development services unit. Part of that will be the team. Part of that will be how we're organized. We will be changed into a more of a north-south unit with some of the tourism folk, rather than being in a separate area, will be part of our unit. So some interesting things happening. We're still waiting to see how that all flushes out. But, again, if you're ever looking for any kind of resources or connections into government, that's my role. So just kind of saves everybody from chasing their tail around for a couple days. So
Great.
let me.
Yeah, and we'll definitely be putting that stuff on the contact information for ministries on the WC Mercantile page as part of the directory, of course. And it's I know there's a lot of flux for sure, but it's just
a bit of a clarification. Like, we don't necessarily work directly with businesses, but we do have resources like the Business Link. And I saw Eileen, you might want to hit her up next.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure what her capacity or what she's able to do within her new role, but she has a wealth of contacts and information for initiatives just like this, I think. So
Perfect. Yeah, and it's all about building this network of conversation and connecting with people you need to connect to, especially for these farms and in through processing and etc. So great. I will go to Lori Jo though, and see if she has anything to say. I like putting people on the spot.
Thanks, Patrick. My camera's not working this morning. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
no
good. So I have been moved into Paul's area, actually, into investment attraction, and I'm pleased to be there. I'm on in a different unit than Paul. My unit is bioindustrials, so we do work on plant proteins, functional foods, natural health products, biomaterials, biochemicals, biofuels, emerging crops like hemp and poppies and cannabis. So we're anything that's emerging or innovation on that end. You can contact me and I can help you out with. I have 4 other people on my team, and I'm actually based in Olds, so just up the road from you guys.
Oh.
So yeah, and very, very happy to see your new initiative, and keen to get some links and share it out with the rest of the members of our team.
Perfect. Sounds great. Thanks. And let's see. I saw Mark, are you still on here? Mark Shields with Business Link.
Hi, yes, I popped in a little late. I kind of unfortunately got to be a bit in and out today, but I'm here, yes.
Oh, no problem. Mark, is there anything that Business Link can connect well with agricultural businesses within the full value chain? Just some of your stuff you're doing with Business Link?
Yeah, I mean, in a specific way, I would have to admit, like, nothing really comes to mind right at this moment. However, it's absolutely something that I'm excited to see an initiative like this starting to form, because we want to be at the table and be able to provide assistance and support in any way that would seem possible. Yeah, but it's certainly, like, where it would come to any, on a case-by-case basis, anyone who might be working in agriculture that's looking to either go upstream or downstream from wherever they currently are, will help them explore that. So programmatically, nothing right at the moment, but within our sort of strategists support typical offering, that's something that our strategist team would happily explore for a client, for sure.
Perfect. Sounds good. Okay, thanks, Mark. So my counterpart in Kneehill County, I see, is on the call as well. So hey, Jacqueline. I know we talk value chain quite a bit between the two municipalities, but pretty much the same sort of moniker, I think. But what's going on in Kneehill and fun in agriculture?
Good morning, all. Yeah, I mean, Kneehill and Wheatland, we're kind of in this central east strip where agriculture really is, one of our primary focuses and one of our primary industries in the region. And I think anything that any of us are working on that are going to add to that agri-food or egg processing is really going to benefit all of us. So I appreciate that we're able to work together, on so many projects to bring to these areas. In the county right now, we're really doing a lot on the marketing side for agriculture. We have found that, quite honestly, a lot of agricultural farms and producers don't necessarily also consider themselves businesses. So what we're really doing is just making a really active approach to get information out there. We've started doing our agripreneur spotlight and business spotlight, where we're once a month choosing an operator to promote through the region, and that's been a really good success. We're making sure that all of the training, so the free and inexpensive training that's available through all of our partners, many of you on the call today, that we have it front and center and available for people to access whenever, pick and choose what they need and kind of ease the process. And, everybody's busy right now. So we're really making a focus on just trying to get the information out to everybody as quickly and efficiently as possible. And then with that as well, we're also working on our agri-foods directory and getting it all updated and our business listing. And again, using it to really support and promote the region and what we have in it. Yeah, right. Thanks for having me again today.
No problem. And I just want to make sure, do we have any more support organizations on the call I haven't touched on or talked or brought on yet? Okay. So one of the things that with the WC Mercantile that is going to be an aspect of marketing, I believe, is that ag tourism activity that happens within the region. So things that I've worked on in the past with value chain development is showcasing the partners within the value chain through ag tourism, and so when we have the ability to have an event, bring a number of the operators into an area and have an event hosted, and then bring out basically the end consumers to experience and talk to farms, talk to processors. It's great to do an event. So it's either culinary, or it's a taste event, or it's a showcase. Some would say like a traditional farmers market, but really focused on telling that value chain story under the initiative's banner. So again, with the pandemic sort of stifling the ability to do events, it is definitely part of the future strategy to really push out this WC Mercantile brand and get it to the end users so that we can move farm product through and processing product through to the consumer either in that retail scope or in that restaurant culinary chef thing. So with that, we also have a number of businesses that are assets to this initiative right here in Wheatland County. So I noticed a few of them on the call, and I'm going to start off with Terry with Rock and R. Terry, do you just want to give us a little bit of an overview of what you do on your farm, or your tourism operation?
Hi, my name is Terry Kinsman. So my husband and I, Marv, own the Rocking Our Guest Ranch. We do have a couple cabins on the property. That's how we started. And then about 5 years ago, we built a wedding pavilion, which we've also used for culinary events. We were one of the first venues to host the open farm days. We had a culinary event for the first open farm days. I think that was hosted in the area. And then we did it a second year. It wasn't a big money maker, so and we were fairly busy the year after that. We had a wedding that weekend, so we didn't do it. But it was a lot of fun, lots of work, but it was a great opportunity to meet a lot of the producers in the area. Since then, we've done a couple of farm to fork events with the local producers, which again is great. They get really excited about it. They're interested in telling their story. And we set up, the last one we had, we set it up so that our chef from Calgary created appetizers for each of the producers. And we had them set up around the dance floor in the wedding tent. And so the guests could grab a Fieldstone fruit wine cocktail or an Origin beer, and then they were able to wander about the producers, hear their stories, sample their appetizers. It was a ton of fun. Interestingly enough, even though we were targeting not only the local market, but the Calgary market, we really didn't have anyone there from Calgary. It was all locals that attended the event, and I was kind of disappointed, and Anastasia from Travel Alberta, who was there, and she was from Calgary, she said that, it doesn't necessarily have to be people from outside of the region. She said, maybe you host these events and that is your market, your local market. Interestingly enough, it was a great event in the sense that a lot of people knew each other. So there was a lot of visiting, camaraderie, I think surprise for some of the people, not realizing that we had all these amazing producers in our area. So it was a real eye opener for lots of people. And I know that the producers, many of them said to me, it was really exciting to actually see people taste and experience their products and then get that firsthand feedback, because they don't get a lot of that if they put their product in a store. So I'd love for us to be able to do more of that sort of thing in the area to showcase the local product and to get people out to sample. We set it up so that each of the producers had, 5 minutes to get up and tell their story as well. And that was very well received by the guests at the event. They loved hearing those stories. It was really interesting. It was funny, just very enlightening, and a great evening. So again, we'd love to do more of that sort of thing. Definitely struggling right now because we can't do weddings. So we've lost about 70% of our income. And if that happens again this year, I'm not sure. If we don't find something to replace it, it's going to be tough. But I'm really excited about this agritourism. I wish it had happened about 5 years ago. But anyway, needless to say, it'll happen when it does. And again, trying to launch this in the middle of a pandemic, as Patrick said, isn't all that easy, but I think we have a fantastic group out here, and I'd love to see people come east for some reason. And if we can be the agritourism capital of Canada, then that's a great reason to come east. So let's get out there and do it.
Excellent. Yeah, definitely hear you there, Terry.
That's all I have to say.
Okay, thanks. Let's see here. Let's go to BJ. Do you want to give an update, or sorry, give an overview of what you have going on in the showcasing ability for the WC Mercantile in the ag tourism space?
But of course I will. Good morning, everybody. My my husband Ken and I run the Rosebud Country Inn, and as some of you know, on the first day of COVID, we had 58 cancellations and thought, man, we've got to pivot here pretty quickly. Otherwise, yeah, this could be a real challenge. So we launched the Rosebud Country Market. Not really sure that we knew at that time how long it would last, whether it was just going to be like a Band-Aid or if it was going to be a real addition to our area. And it has become the latter. So we are pretty thrilled about that. We initially didn't think we'd run through the winter months, but because our supplier for veggies from Doof Greenhouses in Lacombe has a year-round greenhouse, you can't beat it. I mean, it's just great. And the extra work that this market has been really has taken our focus, well, not our focus, but I would say our tension away from lack of bookings at the inn to just being so excited that people are just pumped. So we have started a delivery service. We have people from Innisfail is the furthest north except for Lacombe. Then a lot of people in Nehill County, actually, Jacqueline, yoo-hoo, and lots of great product that people are just thrilled about. It's all local, and we're just thrilled. We tried, particularly in the beginning, to find producers strictly from Wheatland County. And interestingly enough, that when there is a need, people from Calgary make the connection to the farmer. And as a result, we were not able to get many suppliers from Wheatland County due to the fact that they had a marvelous problem of being absolutely swamped. So it has been productive for everybody. I would just say that from that has come now, for example, for Valentine's Day, we're using all the food from the market and providing a, well, we called it, believe it or not, it's so innovative, Rosebud Country Love. And so we're doing a great dinner and four-course meal and everything, and we're doing well with it. So I'm thrilled to death with that. And we're just trying to branch out in any way that we can. And so I listen very carefully to all the ideas that are presented so that I think, could that be implemented here? And we're doing our very best. And I just appreciate the support from Wheatland County and for all the offerings that they've given. Carolyn, for your encouragement, Donna and Amber. I mean, it's just amazing, and I'm just thrilled, and thank you very much.
Great, thanks, BJ. Yeah, your story has definitely been sort of a showcase of pivot in COVID for sure. Yeah, so I'm just trying to keep track of everybody on this call and people I know and people I don't. But I wanted to sort of so we talk about our ag tourism and our pivoting so the operators that work in tourism, especially within the region. But I'm going to transition into a little bit of the farm operators now and into processing. So in that transition, there's been one farm who is also working on the tourism side of agriculture, and she's definitely pushing out a number of different things. So I'm going to put our character Christina on the spot now to talk about her farm and what she's been doing on that farm, how she's been working the value chain, and then also talking about what she's doing about the looking and exploring tourism. You're still on mute, Christina.
Coming.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Well, I just wanted to say it's great to be on the call, and it's also great to have a chef at home because he brought me breakfast, and it's grilled cheese on the barbecue.
Nice.
Yeah, my name is Christina Stender. I'm the farmer here at A Farms, In 2016, my dream came a reality and I became a farmer. With my husband Andy and our 2 boys, we bought a farm just east of Strathmore, and yeah, we called it A Farms. It's a unique farm. We have pigs, but they are not your typical pasture pigs. They are the last pigs in the world to have a hairy woolly coat. The breed is called Mangalitsa. They originate from Hungary. We were the first to import them into Canada in 2016. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. My business plan is fly by the seat of my pants, learn as I go. The pigs themselves have a really old history story, and that's one of the reasons why I've chose this breed. It's a lard pig. They're about 60% fat to meat ratio. So the market is getting really popular in the charcuterie area. I've been working with high-end chefs in Calgary, Banff, Canmore. We just got into a restaurant in Jasper. We do some events at the farm in August. We have 3 events. Yes, I don't know how to spread them out. I have to do everything in a couple of weeks times, but we do the open farm days. We also have an event which stemmed from, I spent 10 days in Budapest learning all about the Mangalitsa's, and there they have a huge Hungarian Mangalitsa festival in February. I went, and that's all I wanted to do was bring that festival back here so everybody could partake in it and learn, and there's so much food involved and it's awesome. So we did kind of recreated one here. So it's called Pig Stock. It's in August. I work with Hungarians in Calgary, with the president of the Hungarian Culture Club there. And it's amazing. Obviously we didn't have it this August, but the August before we had over 600 Hungarians come to the farm. We had a busload come from Edmonton, Lethbridge, Calgary, and we have everybody stays the whole day. Like it was 6 o'clock and I'm like, okay, can people leave now? Like we started at 9. But it's just amazing, and the atmosphere and the energy that comes. We have Hungarian dancers. I bring in chefs. They do a cookout competition, open fire on a cauldron. We did a culinary event, snout to tail. We had a chef from Calgary come out. We sold tickets for that. It was absolutely beautiful. Wendy was able to attend. And I'm glad she did, because she made me sit down and enjoy the event instead of working it. She said, you need to experience this. And yes, what an experience it was. We have some other things on our plates that we would love to bring in more culinary events, do a lot more education. Yeah, so that's kind of how we are.
Yeah. Thanks, Christina.
Any questions?
Oh, lots, but that's a whole other episode, I think. All right. So I just want to see is there any other farms in Wheatland County that are on the call that I haven't identified? I just want to see if anybody wants to talk about what they're producing and give you an introduction on this call. Anybody?
Patrick, Rosemary's on the call.
Is she? Where is she?
It says Rosemary guest. I don't know. It says she joined the meeting.
Oh, Rosemary, are you here? Oh, she got her hand up. Okay.
There, is that working?
That's working. Hey, Rosemary.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a camera on this old computer, so you'll just have to imagine what I'm looking like. that I'm not in my pajamas.
No problem.
Yeah, for people that don't know us, started Poplar Bluff about 35 years ago and did all kinds of different ventures. But now we're really just settled into root vegetables, and I work with Cam Beard with Carrots by Cam. And we, I always dreamed that I would be doing a lot more pick your own and dealing directly with the public. But in the early days, that wasn't happening. So eventually, my business turned into a wholesale business, and so we deliver into Calgary twice a week, and that's the way it has evolved. But I've got a venture started on a distillery, and we're planning to use potatoes, stuff that doesn't make the grade, into a box and use it to make vodka. And of course, a distillery, you can distill anything. So that's the plan. I still not settled on a location. I'd really like to be in some picturesque spot, but I think I've come to the conclusion, just get started. So that's where we're at.
Excellent. And yeah, so you're on the western side of the county, down by the Cars Land, well, northwest of Cars Land, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So great. Yeah, so I got a conversation bit here from Spencer. Spencer, do you want to take the floor here?
Hey, I'm cozy at home right now. Not sure if anyone can hear me. Is that working?
Yep.
Yeah, I just was checking in to support Christina because I knew she'd be talking today. But I run a business called Bessie. We work with a number of farmers and producers across Alberta. And basically what it looks like, in the link I shared in the chat, is we do some farm to table, like, direct marketing for farms. So we sell like a number of different predominantly meat and seafood products, but kind of like the bulk of the effort that we're putting in right now is developing a lot of the software pieces that I guess automate and simplify customer relationships through inventory and distribution. And that's kind of where we're moving in this next year. So I know it's not, it's maybe a little harder to picture, but we've partnered with a couple processing facilities, including a new federal processing facility for beef and pork in Wetaskiwin, and we're helping, I guess, fill that processing facility with product. But then also figuring out how to market that across different channels, whether they be wholesale, direct to customer, direct to restaurant, or into food service.
Great. Hey, Spencer, could you leave your contact info and stuff in the chat as well, and we can throw that into the directory too?
Yeah, absolutely. We're based in Edmonton and Calgary. So I'm in Calgary right now, but we work with farms across the province. And recently worked with Christina. We bought 2 pigs and sold through them like really, really fast. They're pretty special products. I'm not sure if anyone else has had a chance to taste them. Mangalitsa pork is awesome. So definitely go and contact her and buy some if you get the chance.
Definitely. Thanks, Spencer. Okay. So anybody else on this conversation that wants to have a few minutes to talk about what they're doing? Oh. Oh, Nicola?
Yeah, hi, it's Nicola
Hi.
from Farm Days. How are you
Hi
guys?
there.
Good to see some familiar faces on here. We don't really have an exact plan or anything yet. We're still waiting on a couple pieces from the government. We're trying to get some stuff going in the background just in case we get the go ahead. So lots of things going on between funding and COVID, and we're just still not 100% sure, but going ahead with all fingers and toes crossed. So now is a really good time if you're interested to reach out and let me know when we can maybe get things started, with the hope that we're able to continue this year.
Excellent. And could you leave your contact info too in the chat? Perfect. Yeah, like Open Farm Days is great. Like I know working with Wendy in this region, it's hard not to work in Open Farm Days. But yeah, it's definitely got I mean, it's a huge impact for the education of getting people out of the urbans and getting out to these farm visits for sure. It's been a great initiative over the years it's been running. And I know Wendy and I, we did that Open Farm Days winter with the CP Holiday Train in Gleason. And that was, you know, it's just really trying to, the more we can get exposure to farms and get people introduced to what they grow or what livestock or whatever, and then connecting that into market and then processing if necessary in between. We always see challenges in processing. We talk about food security a lot. We talk about, you know, like just because Alberta is Alberta and looking outside, we don't grow every day of the year, outdoors anyway. But yeah, it's really just trying to and working with Jamie a lot going forward on this is really trying to tell the story, try to attract development into our area, sort of closing those loops a lot more. I mean, I know with the province, oil and gas has really looked at value chain to, you know, refine it where you mine it kind of thing over the last decade and a half or so. But agriculture, it's very similar in that frame of mind is trying to get, like, we produce so much and trying to get that processing bit happening more local instead of sending commodities off to, you know, across oceans and stuff, and getting it produced or getting it processed here and distributed as a final product into retail, etc. Those are all aspects of what the WC Mercantile is looking to do and to market and focus that. And by telling farm stories, just there's a lot of education to be done and a lot of interesting experiences to showcase, and that's the Mercantile. So, or WC Mercantile. I have to keep putting the WC on the front. Can't do shorthand, but anyway. So yeah, yeah, I'll put out one more call for anybody who's wanting to be promoted within the value chain initiative, to put your information in the chat. And if anybody else wants to take the floor and talk about what they're doing within the value chain, I'll throw that out there again and see if anybody has anything to say. All right. So in that case, yeah, I'm glad everybody came on this conversation, this launch today. What we're really going to be focusing on is Jamie, once he's past day 5 and going forward, of course, he's working on his strategy for investment attraction. I'll be working with our partners, our farms, etc., on how we can further market out the WC Mercantile. I really want to get some traffic to this website. I really want to showcase everybody within the value chain, and I want to continue to build out this agriculture directory, yeah, and hopefully start doing some really interesting showcase events in Wheatland County, showcasing everybody that's participating in this, and really trying to make some great experiences. We definitely have some great host operators that can definitely be fantastic resources for showing off the Mercantile, our WC Mercantile activities. And similar to Open Farm Days, we're talking about education and exposure of all the activities in agriculture in our region. So that is the WC Mercantile. So stay tuned and remain engaged and working with us, and let's see what we can do with this. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody for participating, and Councillor Bigger with Wheatland here. Do you have anything you want to say and close us out?
No, I just want to thank you for setting this up, and thank you for everybody for joining. It's very exciting, and I've always thought that agribusinesses need that support, and I'm so glad to see it going forward. So thank you all for attending.
Great. Thanks, everybody. And I'll be putting this recording up at some point today onto the WC Conversations media page on the WC website. So share it out, and if you can help us get more people engaged and talking to us, that would be fantastic. And let's build out this directory. Again, thanks, everyone. And stay warm. Have a good Family Day weekend, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Take care, Patrick.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.